Number 8, another one that's very interesting for me as a mum. I think we've all got kids here. Many of our members have kids, and we look at the change in education and what's happening there. And Dr. John Humphreys, I think this is a great one for you. Our policy on decentralised education, what does that even mean?
Good question. Well, at the core of our policy here is simply that education is something that is too important to be left to bureaucrats and centralised politicians and centralised bureaucrats in Canberra.
Definitely.
I approach this issue, and you can approach this issue from two different ways. And I think the one that's resonating today is more of the moral way. So I'll start with that. And that is, you look at the curriculum these days, more and more parents have had more and more time, especially during COVID, to actually see what their kids are being taught.
Mm-hmm.
And more people are asking questions. They're worried about the direction that the education system is going, and they're realizing that they've lost control of it. Average people, parents, have lost control of the education system. Centralized bureaucrats and malcontents in politics have put us on a path that a lot of parents did not want to sign up for. And a lot of parents don't want to walk down that path. And what we're saying is we need to give more choice and more power back to the parents. Control of the education needs to be decentralized as much as possible, whenever possible, ideally to the parents, the local communities, the local schools. And that allows people to be able to opt out of the monstrosities being created in Canberra. But it also allows people, if they choose, if they like the current system, it allows them to choose that as well. We're not saying, some people notice the problem that education has today, and there can be, I think, a mistaken response that the left has got a control of the curriculum. They've messed up the curriculum. The solution is that we need people not of the left to take over the curriculum and we'll fix it. The problem with that is it's still a centralized curriculum that becomes football. It becomes a plaything amongst the two big parties. Whoever gets power, they try to use it to be able to impose their views on others. If there's a bunch of woke crazies who want to run a woke crazy school, we should tolerate that. That is what decentralization and choice means. We're not trying to stop them teaching their woke craziness to their kids. We just want to be able to have all parents being able to choose the sort of schools they send their kids to, the sort of values their kids grow up with. So that's the moral point. And I think that's very powerful. I do believe it probably changed the governor of Virginia for people who follow US elections. I think that election probably twisted on this issue that parents love their kids more than they're worried about left-wingers calling them racist. And I think that might end up changing how a lot of people approach the politics of education in the future. I would just touch on one more point though, and this is the boring economics point here, but I still will touch on it anyway because I'm the boring economist. And that is, everyone says they want better quality education. Of course we do. No one says they want worse quality education, right? So we all agree on the goal. The approach that's been taken for the last decade upon decade has been, let's just throw more money at the issue. As we keep throwing more and more and more and more of taxpayers' money and money we don't have, the grades get worse, the performance gets worse, the schools get worse. The quality of our education does not come from how much of our money the government can throw at their bureaucratic system. The quality of education comes from competition between schools. And again, that comes from decentralizing education. Allow competition between different sorts of private schools. Allow competition between different sorts of public schools. Independent public schools, or charter schools as they called them in America. I believe Campbell brought in independent public schools in Queensland. That allows there to be some diversity between different types of public schools. And then you can have choice between different approaches, different values. And the parents then choose between those different approaches, and the better systems, the ones that work, get replicated. Competition works. It works in the marketplace. It works in governance. It works in education. A centralized top-down approach and throwing more and more money at it, that's been proven not to work. The only thing that'll improve the quality of education is to decentralize, have competition, give parents choice.